Hi, my name is Akiva Goldman. I'm the director and founder of Goldman & Associates. Our firm has a primary focus on family law issues here in Michigan, and today we're going to continue our video series designed to educate and inform the public, so please subscribe to our channel. I want to discuss briefly the gray areas of the law relating to property in a state like Michigan versus some sort of community property state. In Michigan, if you're not married and you just happen to be living together and the relationship falls apart, you don't have the same rights that you might have as if you were married and the relationship falls apart. So the question that we are often faced with is, well, we got married, the property is in my wife's name, she had it before we got married, but ever since we got married, even though the property is in her name, I've been paying $150 a month, which goes toward utilities, and I've been paying some things. I've been helping her out with her insurance and all this and all that. So the question is, can I get half the equity in the house, at least that has accumulated during the marriage? Well, it's a very good question, because on the one hand, the house is not a marital asset. It was acquired before the marriage. It's a prior acquired asset, and therefore one might say right off the bat, it's really not in the kitty, it's not in play, it's not part she's going to take the house, it was hers beforehand, you're going to take your stuff beforehand. The question is though, is there equity built up during the marriage? Did you contribute to that equity? To what extent is there some sort of commingling of expenses, commingling of the assets? Is there something there that would cause a court that works on principles of equity to perhaps give you something in consideration for the contributions that you've made? And the answer is, I suppose the court could say, look, you've paid down the equity in the house is yours, but you've paid down the equity, the loan was $100,000, now it's $90,000, so you've paid down $10,000 of equity. It can be traced to your contributions, so a $10,000 of that might be yours, it would be a 5-5 split, so you get $5,000 out of that. The court could say that, but it's a very, very slippery slope. Because the moment you start asking the court for that you deserve an accounting and credit for all the stuff that you put in, that's the same moment the court starts saying, well, what about all the stuff that she put in? What about all the time she spent cooking your meals and cleaning for you and taking care of things that in the division of labor that she takes care of as opposed to what you take care of? Are we going to start putting a value on that and splitting that too? So the court might not be willing to engage in that level of analysis. Now, there are always exceptions. I mean, the court could find that since you got married, the one spouse wasn't working at all. The other one was 100% the breadwinner. So all the equity and all the things that accumulated, were really the result of one person's earnings. And therefore, the court might take a position, well, that there is some consideration allowed. So maybe the court will say, look, we'll give you a little bit more of this in consideration for that, but don't expect that the court is going to say, well, since you've been paying, $150 every week out of your paycheck, we're going to split half this house with you. The court's not going to do that. The court is, first of all, going to subtract your own consumption. I mean, you're benefiting, you're living in that house, so you're getting the benefit of it. If not for that place, you'd be paying rent somewhere and utilities somewhere. You'd have expenses anyway. So the court is not likely to consider it, well, you've been paying, so therefore we're going to split it. The court's analysis is going to be much more detailed, but it is possible, if you can raise a good argument about buying down some of the equity in the house, that the court might give you consideration for that. If you have any other questions, reach out, and we'll be glad to help you out.